If you missed this problem, check this out. You have to do 4 minus 1 first, which is 3. Squared is 9. Plus 3 is 12. Minus 10 is 2. So 3 plus 4 times 2 minus 2 is 3 plus 8 minus 2, which is 9. In the parentheses first, in the first one, 10 minus 7 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 8 is 72. 11 minus 7 is 4. Squared is 16. Times 9 is 144. If you go left to right with these numbers, you will get 191. Inside the brackets first, and then inside the parentheses, 6 times 3 is 18. Minus 15 is 3. Squared is 9. Times 2 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. Minus 9 is 12. So 7 plus 2 times 12 plus 2 is 7 plus 24 plus 2, which is 33. The winning number today is 2. If you have all work shown on your homework, which should be on notebook paper, if you did not, this is the last day you can use something other than notebook paper. 16 out of 21 had homework, so that is 76%. Here are the answers, and I'll try to go through and explain most of these as we go through here. On the first one, we set this one up in class. Here's the equation. When you solve it, combine your 17 and 25 to get 42. 42 plus x equals 60. So we will have 60 minus 42 to get 18 for the answer. And remember, we're looking for answers today, not just equations. And we set this one up in class. We have 3 x's in here. It's not 2 x's because you don't count this as 1 and this as 1. This one is 1, this one is 2. So you have 3 x's. Move this plus 43 to the right side and make it minus. You'll get a 72. Divide by 3. 24. So the second one was 24 and the third one was 48. So whatever we were asking for on that problem, make sure you have that number. On this one, we have x plus 2x plus 4x. We set this one up as well. 7x over here. 7x equals 70. Divide by 7 to get 10. Bucket 1 is 10, 2 is 20, and 3 is 40. On the fourth one, boys and girls, I let x be the girls. And there's twice as many boys. You have 3 x's. Divide 30 by 3 to get 10. 10 girls, 20 boys. We set this one up in class. 76 over 20 greater than or equal to g. If you divide that out, you have 3.8. So you would have to have 4 groups altogether. This one is a guess and check problem, and this is above the objective that we're doing now because we're using one variable on the objective. So if you see something like this, it's going to be extra credit on a test. But the way you do it is this guy here had to pay 75% tax and this one 50%. If you make those fractions 3/4 and 1/2, that's fine. If you do decimals, that would be 0.75 and 0.5. But you have to guess and check by putting in some numbers where when you multiply it by 0.75 and you put something in here and multiply it by 0.5, you come up with a sum that is 400. Well, after some guessing and checking, which was not enough room on just one screen to cram it all in there, I came up with 400. If you multiply by 400 here and then by 200 there, you'll get back 300 and 100, which is 400. So 300 and 100. I had to film a correction here because Armstrong figured out that what I had put on the screen was the tax money added together, and that's not right. It is supposed to be the money left over after taxes, and in this case we found the answer to be 800 for this person, which I think was John, and then 400 for this person, which I believe was Joe. Might have them reversed, though I don't have the problem in front of me. 7, you have to haul some gas, 80,000 gallons. The truck holds 7,000. 80,000 divided by 7,000 comes out to be 11 point something. So you really need 12 trucks in order to haul everything out. And for number 8, this is a guess and check. Or you could use Blizzard's method on this one as well. Since they both have to be used the same number of times, you could have also made this one X and this one X. They could have both been X, and her method would work perfect on that. But if you guess it and check it, if you plug in 5 for both of them, you only get 55,000. So if you work your way up towards 88,000, you have to use each truck 8 times in order to come up with it. Today's objective is still going to be the same. Create equations and inequalities in one variable and use them to solve problems. We might get to quadratic equations, simple rational, and exponential functions, but not today. Maybe tomorrow or Monday or Friday. Here's the first example. Jill has 3 buckets. Each bucket, or each, have apples in them. The first bucket amount is unknown. So once I reach this point in the problem where it says something is unknown, what do I make that? X. So how many buckets do we have? 3. So we'll go bucket 1, bucket 2, and bucket 3. And all of them added together, if you look at the bottom of the problem, is 38. So we know that the first bucket is unknown. We put an X there. The second bucket has 10 more than the first. So what do I do for the second bucket? X plus 10, yes. And then we go to the third bucket, has 5 less than the first. So what should I put for that? X minus 5, yes. What operation goes in between each of these buckets? Adding, right? How many X's are in this equation? 3. We have plus 10 and minus 5. This is where most people get lost, if they do. 10 minus 5 is what? 5. So you have 5, you're putting plus 5 in there. That's why the 10 disappears. And as well as the minus 5. You've combined it into 5. What do I need to do to solve this equation? What would be my first step, Baldridge?
Divide 38 by 3.
You can't divide 38 by 3, yeah. Subtract 5, yes. You have to get rid of this, so move it over to the other side and do the opposite operation. You'll end up with 38 minus 5. 38 minus 5 is 33. What do I do to figure out what X is? Yeah. Divide by 3. So what is 33 divided by 3? 11. Now 11 represents which bucket? Bucket 1, right. So don't make the mistake of stopping once you get X. Make sure you know what you're solving for. The last sentence says you're looking for the third bucket. Here's the third bucket. It is X minus 5. We just found X to be 11. So how many apples are in the third bucket? 6, yes. Example 2. 4 cars traveled to various destinations over the weekend. Car 1 traveled 12 more miles than Car 2. Car 3 traveled 8 less miles than Car 1. And Car 4 traveled 20 miles more than Car 3. Altogether, they drove 280 miles. We're looking for the distance traveled by Car 4. If you look at the entire problem all at once, it becomes confusing. You have to start with one sentence at a time. So we'll do this. 4 cars traveled to various destinations over the weekend. You don't need that. It's gone. Car 1 traveled 12 more miles than car 2. Do I learn anything at all about car 2 in that sentence? No, only car 1. Is car 2 referenced anymore in the rest of the problem? No. So do we know anything at all about car 2 once we finish reading the problem? So car 2 is going to be X, right. So we'll lower this down and label out our problem here. We have 4 cars and 280 is the total. So car 2 is X. But car 1 traveled 12 more miles than car 2. So what do we do for car 1? X plus 12, yes. So we go to car 3. Car 3 traveled 8 less miles than car 1. Here's car 1. Car 1 is X plus 12. And car 3 traveled 8 less miles than car 1. What is 12 minus 8?
4.
So you really have X plus 4 for car 3. You can simplify it on the go. And for car 4 traveled 20 miles more than car 3. So don't forget, car 3 is what we just did here. This is car 3. X plus 4. And car 4 went 20 miles more than that. So instead of X plus 4 plus 20, what should I use? X plus 24, yes. Are there any questions about how we arrived at this point before we go any further? All right. What operation do I put in between all of the cars? Addition. How many X's are in this problem? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12 plus 4 is what? 16 plus 24. 40. Yeah, so that's why we get 40. We combine all of our constant numbers. Set this equal to 280. What do I need to do with this in order to solve this equation? Not subtract 280 from 40, but 40 from 280. That's right. So we go 4x equals 280 minus 40. 280 minus 40 is what? 240 divided by 4 is 60. Now 60 refers to what car? Car 2, because x equals 60 and car 2 is just x. And that comes from right here. What are we looking for though? Car 4, yeah, the last sentence in here. How far did car 4 travel? So car 4 was represented by x plus 24. We found x to be 60. So 60 plus 24 is 84. Four people are reading books. Person 1 read 12 pages less than person 2. Person 3 read 25 more pages than person 1. And person 4 read 18 less pages than person 3. The total pages read by all 4 readers is 356. How many pages did person 1 read? For the practice problem, notice that person 2 is not referenced in any way other than being up against person 1, which is 12 pages more than person 2. So we have person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and if you add all the pages together, you get 356. It just so happens that in 2 problems in a row, the X variable ended up being the second item, whether it's a car or a person. That doesn't mean the second item is always X. So you have to make sure you don't make that mistake. But in this case, it is X, and person 1 reads 12 pages less. Person 3 reads 25 pages more than person 1. Here is person 1. And person 3 reads 25 pages more. So X minus 12 plus 25 would give us X plus 13. And then person 4 read 18 pages less than person 3. So we just took care of person 3 here, and person 4 is 18 pages less than person 3. So that would give us X minus 5. Are there any questions about how we arrived at any of those expressions? Did anybody end up with all 4 of those expressions and are still with us so far? Hammond and Baldridge. All right. Does anyone have any questions about what happened? Yes.
I got everything except for the P3 and the P4. I don't see how you get those.
Okay, so you have the X minus 12 and the X. For person 3 read 25 more pages than person 1. Person 1 is X minus 12. So here's person 1, and person 3 read 25 more than person 1, so you have to have X minus 12 and plus that 25. And what we did is negative 12 plus 25 is 13. So that's why we put X plus 13 in there instead of X minus 12 plus 25. See how that worked out?
Yeah.
Okay. And the same deal for person 4 who read 25 more pages. Or actually it was 18 less pages. Yes, 18 less pages than person 3. So we took 18 away from the X plus 13. And 13 minus 8 is minus 5. Okay, so we need addition in here, and we have 4 X's. And then we're going to do negative 12 plus 13 is 1. 1 minus 5 is negative 4, so we put in minus 4. That minus 4 must go to the right side and become plus 4. Always remember to do the opposite when you cross the equal sign. So 4x equals 460. Not 460. 360, yes, 360. 360 divided by 4 is 90. 90 refers to the second person. But in the problem, we're looking for person 1. This is person 1, X minus 12. We found X to be 90, so 90 minus 12 is 78.